Good afternoon, Shibu. Good afternoon, all of you. I welcome to my classes, that is NCRT lectures on sociology. We are reading class 11 sociology, and today we are discussing 4th chapter, that is culture and socialization. How are you, Shibu?
Good afternoon, ma'am.
You're making your notes, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So just after this this NCRT will finish, you will send me compiled comprehensive notes so that I can let
Ma'am,
you
in
know.
PDF form, na?
Yeah, you send me PDF. So wheresoever I want to send you the value addition जहाँ पे भी मुझे करना होगा, I'll do that and I'll give it to you in a PDF form. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Okay, and keep writing in that handwriting only. अच्छी साफ सुथरी handwriting में जैसे आप लिख रहे हो वैसे ही लिखना. Okay.
Sure, ma'am.
Okay. So today we are dealing with two important concepts, that is culture and socialization. So as my style of teaching is that first of all I'll explain both the concepts individually. What is culture, what is socialization, and then we'll see what NCRT is saying. So, one suggestion for me to tell you how actually you can make sense and make sociology very simple. We know that in sociology we are dealing with the concepts, we are dealing with basic understanding of our society. Every individual has some sort of understanding for its environment. So one of the finest trick you can deploy in understanding sociology, whensoever you come across with any different concepts, for example socialization or a culture, try to recall whatsoever information you have for that particular term. This is a one thing which will also help you in your answers during your examination time as well. By doing this, we are actually analyzing key terms. So when a culture comes, there has to be a lot of information. When you will think about that, what is culture, you will think about something. That abstract, you should write it down. And when I'm saying socialization, you would be dealing with some sort of concept, some sort of images in your head. Yes, when we are reading sociology, we are reading about all those things which we are witnessing in our day-to-day lives. We are seeing it from an angle which is sociological, that whatsoever we are observed, we are not only observing from a common sense understanding. But as Peter Berger, as Cyril Mills, or other sociologists says that in order to understand sociology, we have to differentiate it from common sense understanding. So when we are saying that it is have to be differentiate from common sense understanding, so one of the tricks which we can use, that take and understand that concept from common sense. So what is your common sense understanding for your culture? Can you just write down in chat section? Please write down a commonsensical understanding for the term culture and socialization. And today I'm going to teach you this method which will be there for you for entire, not only in sociology, but for entire UPSC preparation. I'll narrate one example. I was in the middle of my examination of masters, and there was one particular term which I really didn't have any idea. Okay, it was something on planning or some planning, and it was about dropout rates, something like that, and it was a research method paper of sociology only. So invigilators were taking their rounds in the class, I gathered some courage, and I did not cheat because I never cheat in my exams. So I just simply asked the invigilator that what does it mean. He explained me the key term. He defined the key term to me. After getting that explanation, I wrote that answer really well because I could interrelate it. Interdisciplinary approach I always had. that is something which I understood from the beginning, that sociology actually teaches us to be critical, to understand one phenomenon from a different perspective. So with that only one term, and I had common sense understanding of that, I wrote a really good answer, and I topped that exam. I mean, I topped in my master's. So yes, sociology is indeed. I mean, I know that there are some students who take sociology and then they think that it's very difficult and then they leave the sociology. I do not know, because maybe one thing is lacking in UPSC people, in UPSC aspirants, that they are not having patience. You need to cultivate, you need to develop this method of patience in you. You have to have patience to understand, and there are proper system. There are proper ways. Without learning ABC, you cannot form sentences. Without learning how to write digits, you cannot do calculations. Similarly, in optional exams or in optional papers, whatsoever you are understanding, you have to understand from a basic understanding. Coming back to our subject matter, that is sociology, as I said, that you must have some basic understanding. So Shibu, I just want you and others also to write, in your chat section, what do you understand by culture and socialization, and it has to be completely from your own common sense understanding. Okay, and then I'll reflect that from this point of view how you can understand in a scientific manner. Please write down in the chat section what do you understand by culture and what do you understand by socialization. Are you writing, Shibu?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, write it down. Take your time. I'm giving you 5 to 6 minutes, 3 minutes for culture and 3 minutes for socialization.
Ma'am, right now I have only this definition in my mind.
What about socialization?
Just now I'm writing.
Good, Shibu. You have very well defined. Culture refers to customs, ideas of a particular society or a country, and socialization is a process by which we learn about certain values and attitudes or skills from different agents, like family as an agent, school as an agent, then where we work as an agent, right? So, keeping this definition which you have said, it refers to the customs, ideas, or of any particular society. I'll keep this and then I'll explain. Okay. So now try to understand it from the definition which you have said. So it says that culture refers to, you have used the term customs. Okay. Then you have said ideas. Okay. Of the important point which you have made, it's of a particular society. Okay, this is what you have written. It is of particular society or country. So here two things which we have to understand. Actually, culture, it's an act of doing things, act of doing things with some purpose. That is, it has some goals and to achieve it. Okay. And it is repetitive. We do it again and again. This I have explained again. So it means that we do certain actions according to some, this is the key term, ideas. Okay, and with that ideas, we repeat that action over a period of time. Give me a moment. Good afternoon, Poonam. Poonam, you cannot be late every day in class. Okay, be on time. All right, don't be late in class every time. You are very late. Always you are late by 20 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. The timing is 1 to 2. Okay, Poonam? So culture is we have too many theorists, we have too many thinkers who have explained culture. In sociology and in sociology and in anthropology, culture is actually a fundamental aspect which defines and tells that all the institutions which is being created by only culture. So to have a conceptual clarity, for instance, in 2020, in essay paper, there was a question that culture is what we are and civilization is what we have. This was, in fact, is from my notes also, and I have, it has come up in the UPSC SCK paper also. Okay, so culture and civilization, to understand what is socialization, it is very important to understand, have a clear-cut understanding. So when I'm saying that culture is being repetitive action, we do not do certain action again and again. There are differences between two activities which we do, for instance, ordinary work which we do, like for waking up early in the morning, brushing our teeth, it is also an action. But waking up early in the morning and doing worshipping to God or to Allah or to meditation with some ideology, with some values attached to it, it is bringing a culture. Am I making sense? And very correctly you have said, Shibu, that particular society. So with particular society, what do we understand? Geographical location. So my culture will be different from your culture because my geographical location is different from your geographical location. I will be wearing my clothes. I will be wearing, that materialistic things on me according to my culture. That will definitely going to have some impact from my geographical location. Okay, if I'm living in a north, I will be wearing some clothes because that's a need. That's a need. Okay, but then in that needs to protect myself in north from winters, I will be wearing woolen clothes, but how I'm wearing that will be different from culture to culture. If you'll see in the Ladakh in India, the way they dress up is different. Even in the Ladakh, in some parts in Kashmir, their dress is different. So that dress is a materialistic form of a culture, but it derives out of ideas. Is this clear? Is this clear, all of you? We need to understand culture, that how it is being formed. What is an ideas behind it? What are the factors which plays an important role in defining that culture? Is this clear, Shibu, Poonam, and others as well? Now, how this culture is being transmitted to different generation? It is through the process of socialization. Okay? We know that human beings are like primates only. We copy. The moment child born, the one thing, the first expression which he or she learns apart from crying, it is of smiling. Child smiles even in the womb of her mother. It's very beautiful. It's nature gift. Okay, being mother is a nature gift. I always says to all the females who tries to nowadays being feminist and thinking that we should not want motherhood, but that's a different thing. And I don't want to deviate from the topic. But yes, one thing you will see, a child learns to smile, laugh, because when we hold a child, automatically we smile. So one expression which, his little mind can understand, it's of smiling. So in written, that child also smiled. So few things, it is being learned by cognitive understanding, by psychological, but other things saying like, this is good, this is bad. You must have seen that, small children knows entire Bhagavad Gita or Quran ki ayate or Granth of like, 6 holding hands, folding not hands. It is being taught to them. The value is being taught to them by doing. When I am doing and celebrating Diwali, small children are learning it. And then sometimes I'm verbally also telling them that this is not you should do. This is what you should do. So this is a socialization where we are learning about our world, social world, through different agents. The first agent in the socialization is your mother. And it is being said by different wise men that if you really want to choose your partner for your marriage, choose that person's mother. See that person's mother. I mean, mother is the direct reflection, okay, of upbringing. So mother is the first institution, family, and in that family, mother is the first institution where we are learning about our culture. Is this clear? Then culture is further divided into two parts. That is material, which we can see, and non-materials, which we cannot see, but it is there. It's like beliefs, customs, norms, values, okay, rituals. What is material? The way I dress up, my ornaments, okay. Is this clear? Dress, ornaments, tools, all these are the material which we can see, the infrastructure. Is this clear? And socialization is basically somebody says to me that ma'am, when you teach, you don't smile. So now I've learned, I'm saying that, okay, I'll smile more. Okay, guys? Shivu, you also feel the same? Poonam, you also feel the same? I don't smile? Yeah? Tell me, both of you. Shivu, Poonam, tell me. Do you think that I don't smile much? This is a question I'm asking. Where are you?
Ma'am, I couldn't hear you.
Yes, ma'am.
There was a student of mine. He was saying that you don't smile when you teach. So I just want to know, do you also believe that I don't smile?
No, ma'am, I think you should smile. Always.
No, I should smile, yes. But do you also think कि मैं smile नहीं करती हूँ? मुझे ऐसा एक बच्चे ने बोला कि मैम आप पढ़ाते रहते हो, बट आप स्माइल नहीं करते. तो मुझे पूछना है आप दोनों से, आपको भी ऐसा लगता है कि मैं स्माइल नहीं करती?
नहीं मैम, I don't think so.
और पूनम आपको? मैंने सोचा कि मैं थोड़ा और स्माइल करूंगी. ओके, एनीवे.
मैम कोई
हाँ जी,
पढ़ाते कोई सीरियस ही रहेगा ना, कोई स्माइल क्यों करेगा?
ये भी एक लॉजिक है एक्चुअली. बट अब मुझे लगता है कि थोड़ा स्माइल करके पढ़ा लेना चाहिए जब हम कोई पढ़ा, क्योंकि एक्चुअली योर पॉइंट आई अंडरस्टैंड, क्योंकि मैं भी जब पढ़ा रही हूँ तो मैं इतना इन्वॉल्व हो जाती हूँ. बट इट्स ओके, स्माइलिंग इज अ फैक्टर. People feel happy when we smile. Okay, so socialization is what we learn about the culture in which we are born. Okay, so let's just say, and we have different agents by which we learn. As I said, mother, let's just say family, then we have school, then we have peer groups. Okay, these are the agents through which we learn socialization. So if I'll say like this somewhere, this is much better. Just a moment. Something like that. So we have north में different culture. The culture of east will be different. The culture of west will be different, and the culture of south will be different. Okay, so of course, this geographical location plays a very different and specific role. So as a human being, human species, we have certain characteristics. We all are like, now we have become Homo sapiens now, right? We have become Homo sapiens. Now we are modern man. Let's just say human species will be there. We will have this physical anatomy with us. Okay, but then how we are diverse, we'll see two things makes us different. Human groups are different because of two things. First of all, by physical characteristic, and by social or cultural characteristic, right? So physically we are different because of different races, different genes. There is a biological difference. And now social is because we are different from cultural point of view also. The way we live, it will be different from region to region. Okay? The 7 continents we have, North American has a different culture with South America. African continent has different culture. Asian has a different culture. Antarctic people will have different culture. Culture is what we learn, and culture makes us different. It is a culture. How we are understanding religion. Religion is universal indeed. Culture is present in all the societies indeed. But how we are understanding this different situations is different from place to place. So culture means what we are. So what we are, culture is what we are. It's mean that how we are giving meanings to what the social institution we have. For example, religion, for example, political structure. If I am in Indian society, the culture of politics here, the culture of state is here is democratic. In China, it's communist. Okay. In Middle East, it's more of king, monarch rule. Right? So that is political system will be there as a source of having social control. It will be there, but then it is diverse. It will be different. So as economical system in tribal societies among all the worlds will be different. It will have a substantivist approach. What is substantivist approach? That economy will decide according to social norms. What type of social values you have. All right. So that is something, it is diverse. So economical situation also is different from country to country, from place to place. In India, economical system for up to a great period of time was based on caste system coming from religion. Okay, capitalism has been a flourish in European. This is what Max Weber is explaining through his wonderful piece of writing, that is the Protestant ethic of capitalism, that why in some parts of Europe capitalism flourished and why in not others. So economy is also different. Economical culture part is also different from place to place. तो ये समझना बहुत important है. That sociology हमें समझाता है कि there is a culture. हर समाज में अलग अलग लोगों का तरीका होगा जीने का. तो कल्चर होगा. कल्चर, रिलीजन, किस तरीके से हमारे धार्मिक वैल्यूज है, किस तरीके से हमारी इकोनॉमिकल सिचुएशन है, किस तरीके से हम स्टेट को देखते हैं, किस तरीके से रूल्स एंड कस्टम्स है, ये हर एक समाज में मिलेंगे. लेकिन हर समाज में इनको करने का तरीका अलग अलग है. ओके, दिस इज व्हाट वी हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड. सो कल्चर इज व्हाट वी आर. तो कल्चर हम खुद बनाते हैं. बहुत मेजर थ्योरीज है इसमें. इवोल्यूशनिस्ट की थ्योरी है, वी हैव सिंबोलिज्म की थ्योरी है, स्ट्रक्चरलिज्म की थ्योरी है, कल्चर मेटलिस्टिक की थ्योरी है, लिवाई स्ट्रॉसे ने इस पे काम किया है, बैलेंस्की ने इस पे काम किया है, ब्राउन ने, रेडक्लिफ ब्राउन ने इस पे काम किया है, बहुत सारे एंथ्रोपोलॉजिस्ट हैं, क्लिफर्ड गीट्स ने इस पे काम किया है. कॉग्निटिव कल्चर है जो कि हम अभी पढ़ेंगे. ओके, तो बहुत सारे, और कल्चर को हम जब समझ रहे हैं, एक बेसिक अंडरस्टैंडिंग जैसे मैंने अभी आप लोगों को समझाया, उसके बाद आप लोगों के लिए ये इंपॉर्टेंट और फंडामेंटल है कि किस थिंकर ने क्या कहा, कौन से एंथ्रोपोलॉजिस्ट और सोशियोलॉजिस्ट ने कल्चर को किस स्ट्रैटेजी, किस सेंट्रल साइंटिफिक पॉइंट से एक्सप्लेन किया है. Is this clear to both of you? Culture and civilization. Okay, the question which comes in the essay paper in 2020, year 2020, culture is what we are and civilization is what we have. So what is civilization? An advanced form of culture, जहां पे हम लिखना शुरू करते हैं. Civilization is architecture. Civilization is our literary sources. An advanced form of doing things, where technology also comes into the picture. It also has a significant role. Civilization is an advanced or later stage of culture. So civilization is what we have. For example, Indian civilization. And in Indian civilization, the Vedic age, both the early Vedic phase and the later Vedic phase plays an important role. Architecture plays an important role. So this is what we have to understand. Is this clear, both of you, Poonam and Shibu, and others as well? So now let's just focus on our NCRT. If you see here, It's in everyday conversation, it seems that culture is related to dress, the custom, festivals. But it is not like that. We understand culture, that how people make sense out of their world. Okay? So culture, which we know, it is the common understanding, which is learned through social interaction with other in society. Okay, and it is actually a group within a group which has different ways of doing things, which gives them identity. And this culture are always, it's not a finished product. For example, we know there's a proper rituals and functions associated with religion or with marriage. And we also know that how marriage is evolving. So culture cannot be stagnant. So what type of culture used to be there 50 years ago will not be same in today's time. It is evolving process. So that means that culture, that the elements of the culture, they are always changing. The elements are constantly being added. Something is being added. Some gets deleted. Some gets expand, shrunk. So it means that culture is a dynamic. Okay. Dynamic as functioning units. This is what we have to understand. Okay. So the capacity of individuals to develop a common understanding with others. What we do, we draw up same meanings from signs and symbols is what we distinguish humans from other animals. So actually it is a culture which makes us different from other species in this biosphere. Am I making sense to all of you? Is there any doubt? Please do ask me. Is there any doubt so far?
No, ma'am.
So, okay. So we have seen that rituals and the meaning of things. Now, creating a meaning is a social virtue. When we are saying this, or any sign, I do not know how to make that Allah sign. We are giving this it as some meaning. Okay. So we are, or church, or mosque, or temples. We have created them. Okay. And then we have different rituals. Church will have different rituals, mosque has different rituals, temples have rituals. So in explaining the religious culture, Emile Durkheim has said that there are some common elements which we have to understand. For instance, every culture will have religion, it is common. Every religious talks about and tries to soothe people around us for our sufferings. Okay. Every religion has some place of worship. Okay. Common. Every religion will have some powerful deity or powerful abstract things which we relate to. Okay. And it is giving us identity. So culture is basically giving us identity. I belong to Indian culture. And this is the way I live my life. You belong to American culture. You have a Western way of life. And then when we try to understand from each other from the cultural perspective, sometimes we become rigid. We think that my culture is right. The way I'm worshipping is right. So Hitler, Nazism or Nazist, what they had the problem with the Jews? It was that what the way I'm doing is right. Or in fact, all the religious fanatics, right? Because this is of ethnocentrism. You will further read in your chapter. Ethnocentrism is a concept in which you deny other existence. So the way I am worshipping, it has to be correct. So if somebody is questioning Islam, if somebody is questioning Hinduism, they are doing wrong. This is ethnocentrism, where you think that your culture, the way you think about different institutions, has to be the correct way. Okay? Is this clear? I hope I'm making sense to both of you and others as well. So now we know that these tools and techniques, as well as this non-material signs and symbols through interactions, and these are the members, friends, colleagues in which we understand. Okay, so these are the few things which you have to read on your own. Please read these things, it will make sense to you. So this learning process prepares whatsoever we learn during socialization period. It gives us our roles and responsibilities in societies. Okay, we all know that how status and roles come up. So this is what we learn as the primary socialization, and then later it is a secondary socialization. So school and other institutions are the secondary socialization. I hope this is clear. Now let's just say different setting, diverse settings and different cultures. So of course we know that humans live in a very natural settings. It is different from mountains to plains, to forests to land. We are different, living in different ways. So wherever we live, inhabit a different ways of fisher folk and their service personnel to the islands. We have seen that. Okay, this is something else. Yeah. Okay. So we have seen that how it is different. For example, the primitive or tribal communities who are living in islands like, just a wait, just a minute. Yeah. Okay, so this is just simply saying that how different these are different cultures. So island like Onges, Jarawas, Great Andamans or Champagnes had no access to modern science and technology, so they are different according to their place. And the calamity based on their experimental knowledge save themselves by moving. They go to higher ground. So this shows that modern science and technology does not make the modern culture. Very true. Superior to the tribal cultures of the island. Okay, so modern technology or modern information which we have, they do not make the culture, but yes, technology of course helps in making civilization. Okay, so that's which we have to understand. So cultures cannot be ranked, but can be judged, educate or educate in terms of ability to cope up with the strengths imposed by nature. So nature culture is actually why we create culture, because we have different social needs, we have different biological needs, and if our culture can provide satisfaction to those needs, then we can probably say that okay, this culture is nice. For example, there are two terms in understanding culture only, which was given by uh, uh, anthropologist genetic. So she says that there are two types of things: Apollinean pattern and Dysolinean pattern. But you do not have to get too much right now into it. It just says that if we see the two parts, they are culture where they will be peace loving, there will be no chaos, no fights, and there will be a culture where there is a violent. So all these two parts also is very important to understand, but that's very deep. Right now we are just reading NCERT, so I'm not going to get into that. For example, if you see this picture, the culture of Rajasthan, of course, will be different, and according to that, they have the ships. You'll not see this camel. They are known as the ships of the desert. You will not see the camel in Delhi. The kind of dress they are wear, it will be totally different. Kerala people, see their technology or their vehicle is different. See this. So natural settings, of course, affects culture. And if I have to define culture, it is means to refer to the acquiring or like it's a refined taste in classical music, dance forms and all. It's mean that sometimes the defined test from the uncultured masses. People, so that they are not cultured. Sometimes they say that, they are not cultured because she is eating by spoon and forks and he is eating by hand. So he's not cultured. Sometimes people say in this, but yes, culture is not like that. We understand, sociologists understand culture as a way of life in which all members of society participate. Okay? So every social organization has its own culture. So one early anthropological definition, it is coming from British school, Edward Taylor, and he's a very famous anthropologist. He says that culture or civilization taken in a wide ethnographic sense, it is that complex whole which includes knowledge, beliefs, arts, morals, and laws, customs, capabilities. And he says that, actually Edward Taylor is saying that we need to understand that what particular culture is making sense to their existence. So they say that we need to conduct an ethnographic study for that. We have to understand what makes them bind together. What is their knowledge? What is their belief? What is their arts? What is their morals? Their laws and the customs? And then there are 2 generations later, the functional school of thought has come up. So functional schools of anthropology, it's Bronislaw Malinowski. So Bronislaw Malinowski is saying that culture comprises inherited artifacts, that is the material positions we have, goods, technical process, ideas, habits, and values. And then further we have Clifford Geertz, suggested that we look at human actions in the same way as we look at the words in a book and see them as conveying a message. Man is an animal suspended in webs of significance he himself has spun. So he says that culture is like a web, and there cannot be a casual explanation. Okay, so likewise we have Leslie White, and they all have explained culture according to something. For example, there is an evolutionist school of thought. So evolutionist school of thought, says that culture moves from one stage to another. For example, earlier we were savage, like hunter and gatherer, no culture at all. In a way, it says that we were brutal, and then we were barbarism. So barbarism is like we have become harder, and now we have developed certain rules and regulation, and then we have become finally civilized. Now we work towards integration of the society as a whole. Okay. And so, for example, there's cultural materialistic theorists. They say that we need to understand culture through the material positions. If we understand infrastructure, if we understand how technology is being used, if we understand and give too much of a production or focus on artifacts, we can also develop and understand a clear picture of having understanding on culture. This is something we need to understand here. Some says we need to understand culture according to symbols, that how symbols is existing and how it gives meaning to us. Some says we need to understand from a individual point of view that what is the meaning they have, what social groups has a meaning to their religion or their culture. Okay, I hope this is clear, getting clear. Poonam and Shibu, are you facing any issue? So I'll start.
No, ma'am.
So I'll start tomorrow. We have only 5 minutes. I like to speak to all of you. So Poonam and Shibu, let me know very clearly, are you facing any issue in 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 conducting in any issues. It can be anything. While you are making notes, then you can also tell me. If your not concepts are not clear, then also you can tell me. Any problem you are facing in sociology or otherwise also, you can tell me. Okay. If the reason I've asked you to read NCRT so that your fundamentals gets clear. I hope reading sociology NCRT is helping you. Please answer, Shibu and Poonam and whosoever is listening to me right now. It will make sense to you only if you are reading NCRT, okay? And after reading NCRT, you are making notes. If you're not going to make notes, and the way I'm speaking in the class, I hope the way I speak, it's not too fast. The speed is fine, because I know this is a general thing, an issue I face. When I speak too fast. So is this clear? The speed, are you okay with the speed? The way I speak the lecture, is it fine with you? Yes or no? Quickly tell me.
मैम थोड़ा थोड़ा वर्ड्स जल्दी बोलते हो.
थोड़ा वर्ड जल्दी जल्दी होता है तो ओके, मैं उसको थोड़ा स्लो करती हूँ. एंड शिबू यू?
Ma'am, I don't have any problem.
ओके, बट आई थिंक थोड़ा मैं स्पीड अगर कम करती हूँ तो शिबू और अदर्स, आई थिंक आप लोगों को कोई इशू नहीं है अगर मैं थोड़ा सा स्पीड को कम करती हूँ. बिकॉज होता ये है कि कुछ स्टूडेंट्स को क्लैरिटी आ जाती है, कुछ स्टूडेंट्स को नहीं आती है. अगर मैं स्लो बोलती हूँ तो आई थिंक किसी को भी प्रॉब्लम नहीं होनी चाहिए. बिकॉज अभी तक आई हैव बीन स्पीकिंग टू फास्ट, बट अब मैं हल्का स्पीड थोड़ा कम करके बोलूंगी. ओके, सो शिबू, आई होप यू डू नॉट हैव एनी प्रॉब्लम इन दैट.
No, ma'am, I don't having any problem.
गुड. ओके पूनम, आपको और आप नोट्स बना रहे हो? क्योंकि आपने अभी तक मुझे कोई कुछ भी सेंड नहीं करा है अभी तक. आई होप आप चैप्टर रीड कर रहे हो. आपको रीडिंग करने में तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं आ रही है?
नो मैम, बना रही हूँ.
आपने नोट्स बनाए बेटा?
मैम बनाए लेकिन पूरे कंप्लीट नहीं हुए अच्छे से.
आपने चैप्टर 1 के बनाए?
यस मैम, लेकिन वो वैसे नहीं है जैसे सेंड कर सके.
जैसा है वैसा आप सेंड करो ताकि मैं देखूं आप कर क्या रहे हो.
यस मैम.
ओके, जो भी है जैसा है आप उसे सेंड करो और वर्क हार्ड. नथिंग इज इम्पॉसिबल. सब कुछ आप कर सकते हो, बस वर्क हार्ड करने की जरूरत है और कॉन्फिडेंस होने की जरूरत है. पूनम, मुझे आपके साथ एक प्रॉब्लम लगती है कि आपके अंदर कॉन्फिडेंस की बहुत कमी है. ओके, सो वर्क ऑन योर कॉन्फिडेंस. इट कैन बी एनी रीजन. जो भी लाइफ में ऑब्स्टिकल्स है, परेशानी है, इट इज टेम्परेरी. if you have decided to work on this thing, it will be come up. Okay, and as I always say that UPSC preparing UPSC is just not about preparing for prelims or for mains or for optionals or for interview. It is one comprehensive approach which has to be deal if every aspect has to come up together in a holistic manner. Okay, so culture and socialization, and after the second chapter, I am going to take some time to complete. This is not going to be something, I mean, generally, student has a lot of problem in understanding what is culture, what is socialization, and moreover, this particular culture and civilization or socialization it has a broader understanding on sociology, also in anthropology. So this is a very important chapter. So I'll be taking 2-3 lectures on that. There will be a series of lectures. So this is a part 1 where I've just given a concept that what is culture. I've just explained that how culture is being created, what is the meaning of the culture, how we make sense out of culture, how culture is universal yet it is diverse. This is what I've explained in today's lecture. And I've also shown that how culture is being transmitted from generation to generation, that is through the process of socialization. And socialization has a differentiations. So now I take a leave, and tomorrow we will be discussing this chapter again. As I said that it is very fundamental and important chapter. So take good care of yourself. Bye-bye. Bye guys.